used to teach a class called mirroring. And I kind of forgot about these concepts for a lot of years until recently I was speaking with a friend of mine and she started talking in terms of mirroring. And it reminded me. So I pulled out my audio version of Debbie Ford's book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, which is really all about mirroring. And I've been re-listening to it, and I've been putting this strategy to use in my life. So what is mirroring? Mirroring is basically the concept that other people in your world, actually the whole world, but let's just talk about people, mirrors back to you things about yourself. So if there's someone who's super irritating to you, you can be sure that they're mirroring something back to you about yourself. Now, you may not believe that that irritating, annoying person, the person that you're judging as bad or different or whatever, could be anything like you. But the fact is that if they bring up judgment or negativity or negative emotions in you, they're reflecting something back to you about yourself. And that's something you really have to look at carefully. Now, listen to what I just said. Somebody who you judge or you feel a lot of emotion about, they are not only potentially mirroring something back to you about yourself in terms of, the traits you don't like in them or whatever, but it's also potentially something that you don't have, a characteristic you don't possess. So it could be that someone who's super bossy irritates you, and yet you aren't bossy. And so someone who's bossy is just showing you that you need to have just a little bit more pushiness, be a little bolder about asking for what you want. It could be that, someone of a different political party, we get to see a lot of this these days. Somebody of a different political party, really irritates you. You find them, you deem them wrong. You judge them as wrong and stupid and whatever. So you have to look at the fact that that person is actually mirroring something to you about yourself. Now, it could be, it's difficult to think of like a school shooter, to someone who goes to a school and shoots a bunch of kids, to think of them as having anything that could be reflected back that's part of you. The fact is that under some conditions you might be willing to harm another, right? So you have to look at that and say, under what conditions might I pull out a gun and shoot someone or do something similar, right? The terrorist, I always think about the terrorist, and school shooters are no different really. Terrorists want to be heard, and they're operating under very strict religious codes and values. So if you are very strict about your religious codes or your values or your political alignment or anything like that, it could be that that's what you're seeing in the terrorist, right? Now, you might never go and shoot, or bomb a building, right? Or set off a bomb somewhere. You might never do that, but you might have the conviction to your values, to what you think is right or wrong, where you might do something that strikes out at others who are different. So when we look at mirroring, when we ask ourselves, how is this person reflecting something back to me about myself that I don't like, or something about myself that I need, or something that I'm hiding, a part of myself that, that I'm hiding, then we begin to have more compassion for the other when we can see it in ourselves. We begin to bridge a gap between us and them. And that's super important. So not only will that help help the world, if we all were to look at mirroring in this way, if we were to use mirroring in this way, if we were all to look at the people around us as reflections of ourselves, we would begin to create some world peace, right? But beyond that, you're going to be a happier person. You're going to be a calmer person. You're going to be a more compassionate and understanding person when you can see that what's in others is in you, or that it's something you lack, right? So I looked, I have a family member, a child, who tends to be super, super negative, and it drives me batty, like super batty. And I stopped and said, I need to stop. I need to not be so upset and angry about this person's negativity. Instead, I need to look at where am I negative. Now, I pride myself on being a pretty positive person. But in fact, I have a lot of negative thoughts. And I hate that I have negative thoughts because I know our thoughts are creative and I don't want to create more of what I don't want, right? But I realize that my worry, for instance, is negativity. I realize that I have constant negative chatter going on, although I tend to operate, and ignore it and keep moving forward, but it's there. And so it's just a reflection back to me of my own negativity that I needed to look at, right? Got really upset about someone I know's lack of self-confidence. And I realized that over the years, while I've been super confident, in the last 5 years or so, I've actually lost a lot of confidence in myself. And so it's just a reflection of me, something I'm looking at that's reflecting back to me, something I don't like. I don't like that I don't have the confidence I used to. Somebody else was telling me about how they thought that they would be farther along by now, right? And I was getting so annoyed with them, saying, well, just create a new plan. If you're not where you thought you'd be by now in your life and haven't accomplished everything you want to accomplish in your life, just create a new plan and get moving towards it so you do create something. And they fought that, tooth and nail, my advice. And then I realized that deep down inside, I feel the same way. I thought I'd be much farther along by now. I really did. I thought I'd have written more books, that I'd make more money, all those things. And they're a reflection of what I don't like in myself. And I became much more compassionate towards them because I could see where I was feeling the same thing. I just don't admit it very often. So think about the people in your life who irritate you the most, who you judge the most, who trigger you in some way. And by trigger, I mean they bring up judgment or negative emotion in you. You end up being angry, you end up striking out, you end up frustrated, annoyed, right? These could be people close to you that you work with, that are in your family. It could be neighbors. It could be almost anyone. Think about it. I mean, look at who's on TV, right? We have right now, as I'm shooting this, are political debates, right? Who is it who annoys you the most? Then ask yourself, or you judge the most, then ask yourself, how are they reflecting something back to me? Hold up a mirror and look at yourself in the mirror that they're providing of you or for you, okay? So that's your challenge for this week. Okay, use this concept of mirroring to let other people be a reflection for yourself so that you can improve yourself. This is a personal development or personal growth tool that you can put in your toolbox and use. I'm Nina Amir. I'm the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I help people get from where they are to where they want to go, usually by helping them combine their passion and their purpose so that they get inspired and take inspired action. I'm a certified high performance coach. And that means that I'm helping people step into their best self every day and create their best lives and live them fully. If that's something that's of interest to you, please click on the link after this or copy down the link and put it into a browser and sign up for a free certified high performance coaching strategy session. Okay? Hour and a half of just you and me talking about certified high performance coaching or the principles of high performance coaching, like mastering your psychology, which we were just talking about with the mirroring, right? Mastering your psychology, mastering your physiology, mastering your productivity, mastering your persuasion, and mastering your purpose. If that's of interest to you, you'd like to level up in some way, step into your best self, then fill out the application at ninaamir.com/free session. ninaamir.com/free session. It would be my honor to serve you in that way. It's free, totally on me, just you and me on the phone talking about how to get you from where you are to where you want to go. Okay? So that's it for today. Try mirroring, and until I speak to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.